a guy that we were talking about at the trade deadline a lot in terms of potentially having the Kings trade for to be a backup five was Mason Plumlee. And the Kings have a chance to sign him if both parties want. And we talked a lot about Plumlee kind of being able to. I mean, he was really good with Charlotte last season, and he is a guy that is one of the more underrated passing centers in the league. Obviously, he's not as good as the names we know like Jokic and Sabonis and stuff like that, but yeah, as a backup behind Sabonis, you'd be getting some continuity in the style of play, or at least you could try to do that. At least he would replicate some of the things Sabonis brings in a backup role. And he's pretty good offensively, and he's solid defensively. He's obviously old though. He's going to be 33, or he just turned 33, I think. And you basically be getting him for, I don't know. I mean, like, you get a good season out of him, probably maybe 2, but maybe you'd want to do that on a 1 or 2 year deal with the idea of developing somebody, whether that's Keita or somebody else. Plumlee's a good option for that, especially since we were talking about Keita maybe needing a little bit more time, or Plumlee, I guess, kind of provides that kind of a strategy, I guess. I mean, how do you feel about him? Is the age too much of an issue?
I mean, it shouldn't be. Especially like this is kind of like one of those positions where you're not really trying to fill it for like years to come, right? It's like your backup five's not part of your core. So yeah, he needs to fit the timeline. I mean, those positions are kind of like the ones that you'll probably have to refill every couple of years. And I think Plumlee would fill in nicely for like a 2 or 3 year deal. The age doesn't really bother me too much. He's not playing that much. And it's someone we talked a lot about, like you said, at the trade deadline, is I feel like he could replicate Domas's game just enough off the bench for those 14 minutes where, for the sake of continuity, it could be good for the team. So yeah, no, I would like Plumlee. Maybe a 2 year deal would, until maybe Kate is ready or you draft someone and they're ready this year. I'm not sure, but the age doesn't really bother me too much in the limited amount of time that this backup five will be playing, unless they really want him to run the floor. But Plumlee has his other advantages than being like, I don't think the age is that big of a deal. Is what I'm saying.
Hey, he'd just be a solid backup. I mean, I think the experience matters. I think he's played backup roles before. I mean, obviously,
I think he played backup to Jokic. He was in Denver for a minute.
Yeah, you're right.
I forgot.
And obviously the Clippers traded for him to be a backup. I mean, to talk about kind of extending a career a little bit more, the idea of playing 12 to 14 minutes or whatever is very appealing for longevity. And he just does. I mean, he's not like, he doesn't wow anybody, but he does like a little bit of everything in a way. I mean, even for like an older, not known as an athletic big man, like I feel like the few times the Kings saw him this past season, I feel like he was running the floor really well. I think he had like a few rim run alley oops or whatever, and I don't know. Sometimes it surprises you, and whenever you watch Plumlee, you can feel his feel for the game. It reaches out to you through the screen. Mm-hmm. So he would be really solid, and probably, as long as Bones Highland isn't there, I think he'd be a good locker room guy.
What happened there? Man, this is something.
Yeah, then in the playoffs, him and Bones Highland were like barking at each other on the bench.
That's funny. I wasn't even paying attention.
That's okay. Yeah. We didn't go over that before the show. Yeah, but I think Mason Plumlee, I mean, we're talking so much about him at the trade deadline. I feel like got to give him similar love here with free agency coming up not too far from now.
Mm-hmm.
But also still really feels far away. But